Alrighty, everybody, going to be talking today about how to leverage our current buyer clients and how can we leverage them into getting more listings. Because as we know right now, especially as we're recording this, the listing market is absolutely insane. The biggest challenge that we're currently having, especially for buyer clients, is we have low inventory, low options for them to choose from. And it's often the case, homes are selling quickly to the point where they're not even able to even get a chance to view the house before it sells. So I have a couple things written down here, so pardon me if I look down from time to time, but I want to make sure I don't forget anything for you. So first thing is, if you do have a buyer client, really getting a deep understanding of exactly what it is they're looking for. Because when you're going after seller clients or sellers in general, making sure to be specific is one of the biggest things, is not just putting out general information where that seems like a sales letter. So what we're going to be talking about is making sure that we're as specific to their home as possible. One of the big difference between buyer clients and seller clients is buyer clients will more readily raise their hand for you to go off and find them. Rather than seller clients, they aren't necessarily as willing to let it be known into the universe that they're thinking about making a move. So just understand the biggest difference between buyers and sellers is you have to go after sellers a little bit more proactively than going after buyers. There's tons of programs that will sell you buyer leads. They're more readily willing to raise their hand and comment on things on social media or even call you based upon a referral. But seller clients, a little bit more guarded. You have to go after them. One big distinction. So most of what we're going to be talking about is how we go after them. There is a few things that's going to be a little bit more, putting information out there, but the majority of it is how can we attack and go after them specifically. First thing, if you do have a buyer client, number one, making sure that you truly understand what they're looking for and get a refined geographical area in which they're willing to entertain and a specific size or style of home. Because the first way to do this is finding either the model matches of a home that they already fell in love with, or just a simplified version, strategically target similar homes to ones that you guys have seen and trying to get it into a manageable size category. Because if you're saying that they want to move anywhere in Orange County and just a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and you pull up a search and there is, 45,000 options, it's going to be very difficult to put out any sort of marketing material to 45,000 options. We want to try to get it into a manageable chunk. And what that number is will determine based upon you and your competency with being able to market to that number of homes. So step one, getting together, strategically targeting off-market homes, either doing it yourself using Realist Tax or Title Pro 24/7, or reaching out to Gabe, our incredible title rep, and having him assist you with that. But I would highly recommend getting competent with utilizing that feature or those tools. That way you can do it on your own at your own leisure. So once you get that strategically targeted list, we can either be sending I have a buyer letters over to them and making sure that those I have a buyer letters are very strategically targeted, where it's not a general thing. We did a class a while ago about how to do a mail merge on making sure that you can import their names, their addresses, and even maybe some discerning information about their specific home into the letter itself, or at least making the letter seem as targeted as possible, using languaging like their specific tract name, like I have a buyer for the Cordova tract, if you want to take one that's local here. Making sure that you put out information that is relevant to them, because the big thing is that a seller's not going to believe you at first. So making sure you put as much information that says, hey, they've driven by your house, they've already seen it and whatnot. So we can go down that rabbit hole all day long, but our company First Team does have specific links to the ones that have been getting results, and I'll put links down in when I post this here. Step two, once this wonderful global pandemic situation settles down, best option is to be able to actually knock on their door and to put a face-to-face and say, hey, I have a client who's interested in your home. Have you given any thoughts to making a move? That's the number one way that's going to actually create results. Right now, it's a little bit difficult to do that because of the social distancing rules and guidelines brought down from CAR, the Association of Realtors, right? Also, once you do have a buyer client, let's say that they get into escrow, okay? if you are able to get them into escrow, doing different social media posts for social validation is going to definitely get you more seller clients to start looking at you with some more credibility. Because especially if you guys are a newer agent, the number one thing is the lack of credibility and obscurity. They may know you as a person and as a friend, but they don't know you yet as a real estate agent and as a productive competent real estate agent. So as many just listed, just sold, in escrow success stories as you can share, the better, because that builds your credibility in the eyes of a seller. Because a seller, even though they may know you, if they don't see you having success, they may not trust you enough in a business setting. They may trust you as a human being. They may give you their wallet if they're going to go do something. When it comes to their largest asset, with around here, really an entry level is a $750,000, they're going to want to make sure that you know what you're doing. So sample Facebook posts, right? Especially for this market. You know, we just beat out blank number of offers and we're opening escrow on this beauty. It could be like you, a selfie photo out in front of the house, you know, something like that. And posting a picture of the property, and even just grabbing it from the MLS and, you know, doctoring it up using a free software like Canva, or even trying to use something more like Lucid Press in order to do that. When your client is in escrow, when you're doing a physical inspection, you can do another post of, hey, Inspector Steve is checking all the nooks and crannies to make sure that we leave no stone left unturned, you know, that sort of a deal. Take a picture with you and the inspector in front of the neighborhood, in front of the house, in front of the neighborhood, something that's discernible to the surrounding area. Also, you can do another Facebook post for when they sign their loan documents. You can have your clients take a picture of them signing, because they love that type of stuff, right? The more things that you can put out into the ether, if you will, into the social media, the more credibility it will be building for you. Also, big thing, at the final walkthrough, that's when I always took my sold photos with the clients. That's when I had them hold the sold sign and took a photo of them out in front of the house, because that gave me time to do some things down the line. To be able to, the next portion is you can order a We've Moved or a potential Meet Your New Neighbors postcard for them, where you can either give those postcards so that way they can send to their own personal clients with your contact information, but a big picture of them with the sold sign out in front of their house, so that way they can send to their friends and family. That way everybody knows their new updated address. So it's, hey, we've moved, make sure to update your calendar or update your contacts list for us. Our new address is here, if they're open to something like that. As well as you can order postcards for Meet Your New Neighbor and send it out to the neighborhood in there, if your clients are okay with it. If they don't want you sending pictures of them, you could put out a just sold, because technically when you bring the buyer to the home, you sold the house. And all you need to do is just say just sold with the property address, and just put I represented the buyer, you know, down below. But the big thing is sellers want buyers. Sellers want buyers. All of your messaging should be around you are representing buyers, because as a seller, you want buyers, right? So that should be the core messaging of what you're doing to seller clients. To your clients, it should be all about them, right? The just, you know, we've moved, you know, the we've moved should be about them. It should be the picture of them, because it's for them. You know, ordering 100 of them, they're super cheap to get a stack of postcards. That's another option for you. Also, a great option is to contact our marketing department, get a sign that your clients will put out front that says, we bought our house with, insert your name here, and we love it, with your picture, you know, first team logo, with, you know, we bought our house with, you know, Sudi, we bought our house with Paul, we bought our house with whatever, you know, whoever wants to do that, and say, and we love it. And just ask them, hey, would you be willing to put this out in front of your house for the next 2 weeks or something? You know, give them something, so that way when you're putting the marketing pieces out in the neighborhood, and when people drive by and they go, oh yeah, that was that home that one agent put that piece out. And then now there's the sign out in front that says that you were the one who brought the buyer in there. Just a little bit of extra things in there. When it closes, Get a buyer testimonial. Sounds simple, but get a buyer testimonial and try to put that either on the those postcards that you put out to the neighborhood, or even better, if you can get the client to do a video testimonial. Oh my goodness, how awesome would that be to be able to put, your own little video together of the client saying what it was such a great opportunity to work with you, how awesome you were, and be able to do that. You could even get, as if you want to do something really cool, on that sign out in front, have like a little custom URL, if you will, on your sign that says, find out, we bought our house with so-and-so and we love it. Find out what we have to say about working with Sudi here, workwithsudi.com, or whatever your URL is. And it takes them to just a video of just them doing that, where it's, right below it's, hey, find out what your home is worth, click here. You know what I'm saying? So doing those types of things where it's not just taking a testimonial and putting it on social media like we always do. It's finding the right ways to leverage that and send it to the neighborhood, so that way your social endorsement comes from them, not from you. Also, when you close, clients love, especially first-time home buyers, love posting about their closing online. So sending them that just sold photo that you took during the final walkthrough and say, hey, congrats on closing. I know a number of my clients love to share about their closing on social media. Here's a photo. If you wouldn't mind tagging me when you post it. Meaning they're going to say, hey, we're so excited. We just bought a house in Mission Viejo here. By the way, we used Rhonda and she was incredible. That way it tags you in it, so all of her friends see your contact information, social validation that she did it, which is, again, further credibility, which, again, the name of the game for sellers is credibility, because you've already been putting out the I have a buyer. You put the sign out in front. You have the testimonial. Your clients posted about you. That way, if somebody looks you up, which people do, before they call you, they're going to look you up. And if they do look up your social media platforms, they're going to see that same client that you put the information out, giving you the social validation from them, not from you. So that's another option that you guys can do. Also, really cool option when your client is moving in. It's a stressful time. Okay. It's a stressful time, and also it's a big time for many neighborhoods when neighbors come out to meet them, because they're out in front of their house for hours at a time, unloading the truck, doing things like that. That's when the first initial meetings happen. Find out when they're actually going to move and be there, and give them something that is again, something as simple as a big old thing of 24 case of waters and some pizza or something that is you bringing them something to make it seem like you're not just there self-servingly, right? Bring them something very good, like just a customary thing, not customary, but a very easy thing to do is just a case of waters and some pizza or something, because as they're moving, it always takes longer and it's always more stressful than they're usually anticipating. So it's helpful to have an agent who comes in there that thinks of them after the sale, because we all give client gifts, or we should be, right, to at least ingratiate themselves, but doing something on top of that. That way, when the neighbors come out and they see, you interacting with them, it gives them another opportunity to be able to give you social validation by saying, hey, Jacob or, Raj was super awesome to work with, and all of those types of things. When the client settles in a little bit more, you can offer to give them or to host them a welcome home party or a housewarming party, a wine and cheese night party to invite your new neighbors, to learn about your new neighbors. And you put out an invitation to say, hey, why don't you really meet your new neighbor? Here's a wine and cheese night that they want to meet as many neighbors as possible to welcome them to the neighborhood, sponsored by you, and you put a couple $100 in to buy some wine and some cheese, and you just do it. And you just get a chance to meet the new neighbors, but also, again, get a chance to chat with as many people as possible. So there are tons of ways that we can leverage all of these buyer clients into more sellers. However, it's a matter of what things you want to realistically take on and what do you want to put a system around, because this was a lot of ideas. Now the question is, what 2 to 3 ideas do you want to do, and do you want to do consistently? Because that's what's going to get you the result. Because if you guys just sat down and took a bunch of notes on all the things that you can do, it's going to get overwhelming. Figure out what one do you want to do and what one do you want to start right now with one of your buyer clients. One of the easiest ways to do it is to get with Gabe to find out strategically what types of homes are your clients looking for, and putting out personal I have a buyer letters, either with mail merge, or if there's a few enough homes, even handwriting it, because that's gonna all but guarantee that at least it's gonna get read. Because don't forget that noise is plentiful in this business, that people are getting marketing letters all the time. What's going to set your information apart from all the others, whether that be the color of the envelope, whether that be mail merge document, whether that be the way that you're writing it, whether it's a regular envelope, but it's a handwritten one, choosing what ways that you want to do it. Because I can promise you this, if you just do it once, and if you just do it at one point in time, you're maybe going to get a little results, if not no results. But if you do this on a repetitive basis, you will constantly be able to leverage the business that you already have into more, which at the end of the day, that's what we want, right? So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But I'm Jacob Lawlor, and I'm committed to your success.